now to power you through the day. Payday Peanut Caramel Bar. Get to it.
Portions of the following program will be recorded.
Number one on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
And bring it on in. Daily Ticket with you here. A lot to get to. Good afternoon. Sean Brace in a studio as we are experiencing some technical difficulties. We love it. No matter where we are, you can always bank on that. God bless. Anyways, of course, special guest joining us, making his weekly presence felt again here on The Gambler, on the Daily Ticket, the one and only Mr. Kyle Fisher. Kyle, how we doing today, sir?
Doing good, man. I'm also on the road myself. A little away game for me today, but doing all right. Set up in visited my brother for the week, so I'm set up in his office. Apologies for the last minute difficulties, but we're good to go now. That's all that matters.
Nice, man. All right. Well, look, we're all having it. It's raining out here. Where's your brother at? Where does he live at?
Connecticut. So we're getting some of that as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what it is. It's that storm. It's making its way up. It's that storm. and, you know, look, we are obviously going to keep you up to date with everything that's happening with the Phillies, but we're not going to focus on the Phillies because they're playing a game right now. And if you want to do that, then ultimately you can listen to that game. And we don't want you to do that. We want you to stay with us. So if you are a Phillies fan, if you do have action on the game, if you have interest in the game, we'll keep you up to date with everything. So don't touch that dial. But we got some NFL to discuss. But before we do that, I was going to open up with the JT home run. I was going to open up with the Christopher Sanchez, the unbelievable performance last night with some audio sounds, but unfortunately, I don't even know what the hell I'm seeing right here. I'm getting processing, and it won't even let me X out of it. So it's just like rubbing it in my face, like still trying to load it. Anyways, last night, pretty darn good performance by the Titans, and after what I'm seeing today against Jesus Luzardo, Kyle, I'm willing to say that the Seattle Mariners are pretty bad against left-handed pitching. Just going to go out on a limb here.
Yeah, I think that's probably safe to say. I haven't looked at the numbers on how they've done all season long, but based on what we've done, I mean, you know, obviously Chris Sanchez, everybody looks bad, I guess, against that changeup. But
true,
when Luzardo's feeling right, if he's getting you looking foolish left and right with this high-powered lineup, I thought that this lineup might actually we might be in a different situation, almost the exact opposite situation. I thought with the power that team had, used to playing in Seattle, coming to a ballpark that has a higher propensity for the long ball, the Phillies might be in trouble. And although there was a lot of offense on Monday, they've been able to stifle them yesterday and today so far. So interesting to watch. Definitely get your lefties ready if you're playing Seattle the rest of the way.
6 1/3 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts last night. That's pretty darn good by Christopher Sanchez. Now, 2 walks, 2 earned, 12 strikeouts, 0 home runs, 6 hits spread out through the course of 6 1/3. His ERA has now dropped to 2.46 on the season. And as I said, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But as Jesus Luzardo once said, hold my beer. I don't know if he said that. But Luzardo has just been insane. I think he had 6 through 2. And then right now, as we sit, I want to say he's got 12. Yeah, there's the box score right now. He has 12 strikeouts through 6 innings and has given up one run there, 1 home run. So Luzardo looking really, really good. And again, not going to get too crazy. It just seems like the Mariners are up against it when it comes to left-handed pitching. So Luzardo, when he's on the money, we saw it earlier this year. He's a pretty damn good pitcher. You want him out there as one of your 5 starters, but he has fallen off a little bit. Again, Ranger Suarez has as well. It's a long season. Nobody's given up on these guys. Can't say that. I can say it. I am impressed by getting 12 strikeouts, 6 innings into the game here, and he just got pulled. It looks like Robertson's now into the game for the Phillies here in the top of the 7th. So a great start by Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah, you got to give it up to him. You know, Trey Turner said it Monday after the news of Wheeler. Everybody needs to pick it up. It's not one guy needs to step in for Wheeler. When you have a player of that caliber, everybody needs to raise their game a little bit. And if Luzardo can find consistency, he doesn't need to look like the potential Cy Young candidate that that we saw for the first 2 months of the season. But if he can find any sort of consistency and not be up and down, he's going to find himself as that third guy in the rotation, depending on what Wheeler's status is come playoff time. So I think that seeing what he's done today is good. And something that stands out to me, you just mentioned Robertson coming in only at 89 pitches, not a ton through 6. You know, maybe you could push him for one more since he's been cruising. But Thompson mentioned a little over a week ago, I think it was after Luzardo's last start, where he mentioned it's going to be prior to Luzardo's last start, and the example happened in Luzardo's last start, where he said, maybe some of the way I get my guys rest is by maybe pulling them a little earlier than they want to. Don't let them go that extra inning. The extra up downs are almost more painful than the extra pitches are. Let these guys finish clean and then start the next guy with a clean inning. And we saw 2 examples on Monday with Jordan Romano and then Kirkring as well, where guys struggled coming in the middle of an inning. And yes, the starter had a low pitch count and it made sense on paper to put that guy back out there. But if you're worried about these guys getting too many innings, too many pitches, it seems like the perfect time to pull guys maybe after a clean 6th. Last time I think Luzardo had 83 pitches through 6 and then ends up getting into some trouble loading the bases really quickly. You have the opportunity to let him leave with some confidence, have the bullpen piece come in with a clean inning, and hopefully today shows that it's worth the results. So, we're going to have to watch the game closely, but to me, that's an example of Rob changing something that he said might be a little tough to change just a week or so ago.
Are you watching the game right now?
I am not. Am I going to eat my words?
Correct.
Oh, come on.
David Robertson, home run. Suarez.
Oh, buddy.
Yep.
Oh, buddy.
First batter.
What are you going to do?
First batter. 39th home run of the season.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, look, it's not to eat your words. It's August the 20th. You're not going to keep Luzardo in there.
Nice timing, huh?
Yeah, that was
Nice
perfect.
timing.
Nice work by you on that one.
Woo.
As I said, we'll keep you up to date with everything as far as the Phillies are concerned. I do want to shine the light on Duran and Duran. How do you pronounce his last name? I'm all confused. This is what happens. I watched when he made the trade. I watched a clip that he pronounced it himself when he was with the Twins. He said, "This is how you pronounce my name," and I was pronouncing his name fine. But then I read people coming at T-Mac, and then T-Mac saying that they're saying it wrong. And then now I'm in my own head. Now I'm in my own damn head. He's an unbelievable closer. Can we all just get his last name correct?
I go Joan Duran because that's what I heard him say when he was
with the R-A-H-N, Ron.
Yes.
Correct.
That's how I say it. That's how I heard him say it. So that's how I say it.
These people are in my head now. They're in my head.
I've heard it so many different times, even on the broadcast. It's tough when you're moving quickly, but I've heard Fransky say it 2 different ways in the same broadcast. I heard Greg Murphy pronounce it a 3rd way in the post games yesterday. So I was like, this is, man, maybe I'm wrong. Like you said,
we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, no doubt about that. But man, it's just so frustrating because I was like, when he got traded, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty easy to pronounce. He just said it right there. You know what? I'm going to put it as a drop. him pronouncing his name will be on the board. It will be a drop. So therefore, whenever I do say it, I will know that I'll have that backup. But man, what a performance he's been. It's been electric to watch that guy go out there and mow hitters down as he just did yesterday. A little bit of an interesting conversation about NBC Sports Philadelphia and covering the intro. I think that's our wheelhouse. It maybe won't interest everybody out there, but from the television side and broadcasting and of course corporate dollars, money, which I'll tell you what, NBC Sports, the Phillies broadcast, they better be counting their blessings that they have Kruk in that booth. And T-Mac is incredible, but Kruk is the best, right?
Oh,
he's just perfect. He's stupid, but he's funny, he's quick, and he's just himself. That's John Kruk. That's been Kruk for decades now. Does he go over the top a little bit with the dumbs? Whatever. It's West Virginia, but he's entertaining for 9 innings. I love it. I'll tell you what, I watched those games and the amount, I took a picture the other day and there was literally 11 advertisements on the mound, on the top of the scoreboard, underneath the scoreboard, on the brick wall behind home plate. And I realized that this is how it works in Major League Baseball for a lot of teams out there. But then I've been flipping through and checking out some other broadcasts. I'll tell you what, I think the Phillies crammed the most advertisements, pound for pound, pick for pick, in every one of their video shots than any other Major League Baseball team. If there's someone that does it more, I'd like to see that. So this is a team. This is good on them. If the Phillies as a team don't care about that, as for their fans and their viewing pleasure, then that's fine. Go out there and get that money. That's what you're supposed to do. But I think they got caught a little bit here by not realizing that everybody wants to see this intro. And oh, by the way, the hottest man in Philadelphia sports, Kyle Schwarber, and then Duran is number 2.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be interesting because for a fact, come postseason, one of these big players is going to forego a commercial and watch the entire intro on the broadcast. That's going to happen. Maybe they do a picture-in-picture after the music is done playing when he throws his last pitch or two for 30 seconds. Maybe that happens, but
that's what they have to do.
They're going to. It's part of the presentation. And I think I saw another radio host say, everybody chipping $1 so we can get them to skip the commercial. But it is interesting because the television presentation is supposed to be different than the in-game presentation, but this is something that you don't normally see in an in-game presentation, and it plays in both avenues. So it's something they may have to adjust on. And if they're cramming that many ads in there, I think something that I noticed with baseball, and I noticed it with hockey before too, took me a moment, but those two sports, they sell digital advertisements that are placed over the actual advertisements in the building. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Like the advertisements behind home plate are different in person than if you're watching the broadcast, which I didn't know you could do. I thought that was part of the benefit of buying an ad in the building was cool, my ad will show up on TV too. No, they're just pasting stuff right over that. That's wild.
Yeah, it really is. And, look, you get your money. That's what you got to do. And I give all the credit in the world to those sales folks that are doing exactly what they're told to do. But at the end of the day, man, the people that are watching these games, and I guess nobody cares because you don't see too many being and seeing about it except for me. But man, it was beating me over the head with advertisements the other day. It was just absurd. Duran right now he is on a different planet. When he comes in for the save, he is automatically shutting it down. I'm looking for the tweet exactly what the numbers are. But this is a guy.
19 batters since coming to the Phillies.
Okay.
He's retired 17 of them.
Yes.
And has 6 saves. The last one came by striking out the home run leader on 3 straight pitches.
Yep.
He has a splitter at 100 miles an hour. It's freaky stuff. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
It's like when the world first saw Billy Wagner, and you're like, how on earth is someone doing that? This guy's like the evolution of that.
He's even better than advertised.
Yeah.
Even better than advertised. I've been blown away when he comes into the building, comes into the stadium with the appearance, everything. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I watched a ton of Twins games over the years, but I knew he was good. I knew he was a quality closer. I did not think he had this. Luke Arcani made the joke that he's the best pitcher in baseball. Look, with those numbers, if he continues on that trend over these next 3-4 weeks until we close up the season, you can make the case because this is the time to shine, and he's been doing exactly that for the Phillies. Hopefully, he gets another appearance, and it'll be interesting to see what NBC Sports Philadelphia does. I think they got caught. It's something that they should have known and been in front of, but they did not, and therefore I would assume that they heard the people and they will go picture in picture. That's the approach that I would do.
Maybe today, since it's a day game, they get one last sell the advertisement because it's not as impressive with the lights on. And then we go next home night game. We really sell it.
It's the gas coming out of that hand, though. that's you'd want to see it. You want to see every pitch of that, even when he's warm.
I agree.
It's incredible stuff. I'm sure he's going to get an opportunity to come in here, hopefully, and mow the Mariners down. Currently, Phillies are up 3-2. It's heading to the bottom of the 7th. We will continue to update you on all things Phillies and get you some of that live action as well. But I do want to get on over, if we could pivot to the NFL. I had my fantasy draft last night.
Okay.
Kyle Fisher. Yeah, I was able to
How
lock
you
in
feeling?
not good. First one, it was the Gambler Station, and you got some smart guys in the group. You got Nick Pacone, who's won it a bunch of years. Roy Burton. Nick Pacone's under the radar, right? He claims he doesn't watch this stuff. He claims he doesn't, and then all of a sudden he ends up winning every single year, it feels like. But Roy Burton's damn good. Of course, he's our fantasy guy. The commissioner, Mark Henry Jr., is pretty darn good at what he does. He ranks them. Of course, you got Nick McClay, you got Ryan Beef Coyle, Tansy. The list goes on, right? Everybody that's involved in here. The only weak link is Michael C. Powers, with all love and affection to that. With all love and respect to Powers, even he would tell you. But last night, I get home a little bit late. The draft was at 8, and literally my house was on fire. Not literally, but you understand.
Whoa, I was about to say.
2 kids. I walk in 7:40 after being live with down in Ocean City, New Jersey with Villanova. More of that a little bit later. And, yeah, I wasn't able to really lock in on the draft. Let's just put it that way. No excuses. But I feel like there are some players, and this is where my mind goes with this conversation. It's like, are we really avoiding these players this year? I'll give you a for instance.
Okay.
Chris Olave. Chris Olave, nobody wanted.
Really?
Now, yeah, I understand what the deal is at the quarterback position for the Saints. I understand the expectations for this roster. First-year head coach, all of the above. But this is a pretty darn good wide receiver. Now, he didn't have much going for him last year. Of course, I believe he was injured a lot, if I'm not mistaken. But the previous year, he had 87 grabs, over 1,100 yards. We know what is there. That was interesting to me to see that Olave was just hanging. Everybody's passing off him. I'm going to pull up what exactly are. Nobody cares about your draft, but I want to get the – yeah, exactly. I want to get the exact rounds where these guys were drafted. Olave, how about Cooper Kupp hanging?
Really? That's a little surprising. Again, I know it's not the same thing as having Stafford throw to you, but that's a guy who's been around the block quite a few times. He's a guy at least reliable in the middle rounds, I thought Cooper Kupp would have been a guy to grab. He is not, and that's understood. New situation, but still, like, this is a dude that won the Triple Crown just a couple years ago. He's a guy that could get out there, and he's going to be one of those top dogs as far as targets are concerned. So that was very interesting to me. A couple other odds and ends, and sometimes it plays into the fact that we're talking about injuries or anything. Like Joe Mixon is a guy that's injured. We don't know what the latest is with him, so that wasn't all that surprising that he was available. How about this one though? Round 8, Travis Hunter still available. That is surprising. I mean, I know that it's Jacksonville, and I'm always iffy on players from Jacksonville. I guess the argument is you're not sure which side of the ball he's going to dominate more. So are you going to take a guy early who might only play in 60% of offensive plays? I don't know. Obviously, the athleticism and the hype is there, but until you see what you got with him, maybe go with a safer pick. I guess I'm a little surprised it was that late, but
8 times 12 is where we're at. So that is where he was selected. and I'm looking up his ADP right now. So let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, he was somewhere in the ballpark of 90. Okay. Travis Hunter ADP standard 69.
Okay.
Let's see here. Overall PPR 69. And then the half and half. I'm not really going to go. Let's just say for the sake of this conversation. All right. Well, no, they got ESPN, the overall 68, CBS 77. Yeah, he was around a long time in our draft last night. That is
It's like an
very
extra 2
surprising.
rounds. Yeah.
Yeah. Olave went in that round as well. So it's just one of those things where that's one of the names that were popping off the plate at me just a little bit. If you wouldn't mind, though, let's go ahead and you can give me your thoughts as far as my team is concerned.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Quickly, because nobody cares about your fantasy team, Sean. Starting quarterback, Dak Prescott.
Okay.
No, well,
All right.
what's more than okay? What is your outlook for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys offense?
Well, to me, when Dak's healthy, he's a very strong fantasy quarterback. I regularly take Dak Prescott in drafts, especially being most of the time guys in my league are Eagles fans, so they're going to have less value on him.
Yep.
I did the same thing with Tony Romo, man. I took Tony Romo every season in like the 10th round, 12th round, because I was like, nobody wants him. Everybody thinks he's a bum, but he's among the league leaders in all offensive categories, especially if you don't have high penalties for interceptions. And not that either one of those guys was a big on interceptions, but to me, it's not about, they faltered down the road come playoff time, because that's not what fantasy is about. It's all about regular season, and they're both strong regular season performers. So I like Dak Prescott always, as long as it's not an overpay. I always like having Dak on my team. Can't argue with that one.
And that's where I'm at, of course, with his wide receivers out there. Good tight end. I'm a little bit questionable about the head coach. Don't know what we're getting there with Schottenheimer. But bottom line is, Dak is a good quarterback. I got him late, and I didn't extend myself. I did want Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, like those were Lamar. Of course, those are the three that I was like, all right, should I grab them here? And I passed all 3 times, because I said, you know what, man, it just felt like nothing was falling to me, or I didn't really like a lot. I didn't like a lot of my picks. Let's just put it that way. So that's why we're having fun here. I did take, first off, I had the 7th overall pick. I did take Gibbs, Jamar Gibbs from the Detroit Lions. I don't think I need to explain. I love him coming out of college. He is the guy. I know that there's still going to be David Montgomery being used in that offense, but we know Gibbs and his potential. So that was one. My other running back is Aaron Jones, Minnesota.
Strong offensive line. Did you take him 2nd round, 3rd round?
That's a good question. I took him later. Got him. Probably like 3rd round, something like that.
Yeah, 3rd or 4th. That's a value grab. I think that he's not the guy he used to be, but being the primary running back on a team that has a lot of weapons, and you can surprise some folks. Like I said, strong offensive line. We know what they can do out there in Minnesota. They're going to be a good team, so he should get a lot of love. It's not as much of a guarantee as Gibbs, obviously, but not many people are. So I'll take that, especially for the value.
I don't know where I got him. It wasn't early. Let's just put it that way. Drake London.
I don't know what to expect from him at this point. I took him last season, and with a different quarterback, who knows what they're going to look like down there. I thought the Cousins was going to be decent for them last season, and we all know what happened there. So it's obviously going to come down to the quarterback. He has the potential, but it depends on how that potential really plays out at the quarterback position. So
I am a fan of Penix.
Well, if you're a fan of Penix, then it's a smart pick. I'm very big on prove it to me first for a rookie quarterback. So I usually hesitate from receivers with rookie quarterbacks if I can. So that's my personal preference. But I took London last year, and Penix was in that mix. So
Cortland Sutton. I love Cortland Sutton. Banger of the season. Last year. Love Bo Nix and what he's able to do. I think he's going to be that guy. I think he is going to be the number 1 wideout in that group. And then everybody else would be a little bit of mismatch. You'll see some numbers being tossed up, but far and away, I think Cortland Sutton is the number 1 go-to guy in that offense.
Definitely, and he's a big enough playmaker where he can make some things happen, even if he becomes the focal point of the defense, right? So he's shown that even when Knicks hadn't started to develop like he did towards the end of last season, that Sutton he could make things happen, even if the best arm wasn't throwing to him. Let's put it that way. So with Knicks's improvement, and I think a good coaching staff there, and the good development that he showed throughout the year, Sutton's a strong pick.
All right. This was an interesting pick because I love this pick, but I don't think this got a lot of love in the group. And I felt like maybe it wasn't a reach, but Davante Adams. And of course, he's in a new spot in LA. And I'm thinking to myself, like 2 years ago, we are absolutely saying he's the best wide receiver in the game. There was no doubt in our minds that he was the number one guy. If you were to rank wide receivers, you say Davante Adams. He still has the ability, still has the skill set. One of the smartest receivers in the game, according to Aaron Rodgers, according to anyone who's ever been around him. Now you're putting him in that offense. I understand. Puka's number one. I get it. But Puka also gets injured. Also picks up a couple dumb knocks here and there. So if that's the case, Davante will be the number one guy that he's going to catch all those targets, catch all those balls. So I said, you know what? Let's take Davante Adams here.
What's Stafford's status health-wise? Because I thought I saw that he was dealing with something. If he's going to miss the start of the year, maybe that's a question mark. But I agree with you. I think Davante Adams is great. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, out of the wide receiver moves, the free agent signings, the one-year deals, who was the best guy? You said Adams. And I was like, this could be his Randy Moss year. We know what he had down in Oakland, or Las Vegas previously, and he's a guy who wants to prove that he still has it. And he's going to a veteran coach, a veteran quarterback, and if he doesn't have to be the primary option, he can start stealing targets from Puka just because they are giving so much attention to him early, and then Davante really picks up. So if Stafford doesn't miss much time, I think that's a great pick.
Good. Well, ESPN is projecting 85 grabs, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. You give me that, and I look back at this pick and go, yeah, you're damn right. We'll see what happens. All right, want to update you because the Phils have blown the doors off this bad boy. We're not going to see the closer come in today. It is 7-2. Kyle Schwarber just played it 2. I think he got a double on that one, if I'm not mistaken. But you had Trey Turner come through in a base hit. Bryson Stott got it going with the base hit, who is really hot right now. You got to love Bryson Stott and what he's able to bring to the plate at this point in time. 7-2, bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Bryce Harper at the plate, and he's swinging for the fences. Fouls went off. Kyle Schwarber on second base. And this game has been blown wide open, and that is a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we like
nice.
that.
No question mark about whether they'll go to the Duran entrance in the daytime now. So that's out the window.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be used. All right. Also got Travis Kelce, went with the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, got the Eagles defense, couple odds and ends as far as I rolled the dice on Jordan Addison, who's going to miss the first 3 weeks of the season. Yep. Oh, well. Zach Charbonnet is a guy that I took probably a little bit higher than people wanted out there. Like, you get to the end of these drafts as Harper goes opposite field, and he's going to play Kyle Schwarber 8-2 right now in the bottom of the 7th. Philly's just hitting the stride right now. Man, you watch this series against the Mariners, and you definitely see World Series competitors here. I don't think a lot of us were doubting that, but of course the Wheeler news, which we will discuss in just a little bit as well, was disheartening to say the least. But it was very intriguing when we got to the end of the draft, see what rookies were there, see what running backs people decided to go with. Of course, you got the 2 guys in Jacksonville, Bigsby and ATM. Who do you want to go with on that one? There were some question marks. And for the first draft, that's the reason why I'm hype. That's the reason why I'm bringing it to the airwaves, because everybody's going to be going through this over the next 2 to 3 weeks here. It is August 20th. That was my first draft. I haven't heard too many people say they drafted already. I know we were early. We had to get it in because all our other leagues have been locked up. But bottom line is I got one on Saturday. Finally, first time to get the juices going, get the hamster running on the wheel in the brain, and to see who I wanted, who I passed on, all that and more. So I'm excited. Is there a player that you want on your fantasy team this year, Kyle?
Well, I'm curious just because the only draft I did so far is my dynasty league, so we're drafting all rookies. I'm curious, where did Genty go for you? Because he's a guy I've kept an eye on closely. I think that he's going to be a fantasy monster right out of the gate.
I want to say he was top 6. Yeah, he was 6th. He went right before me.
Wow. So he went first. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. That's a lot of running backs going early. I like to take running backs early still, especially because the crop is thinner than it used to be. You used to do running back first round no matter what, just because they got the most points. But the game has evolved so much since we started playing fantasy. A lot of guys will go with those top wide receiver targets in the first round. I still go running back heavy first round if I can. And if it's value picks there, I might even go there second round just because wide receivers, I feel like so many injuries, guys really come out of nowhere. So yeah, that's good to know. I don't know if he's going to be available for me, but that's good to know. He's the guy I'm most excited about coming into this year from fantasy. So
I'll give you the first round. Jamar Chase went 1 overall, Bijan 2, Saquon 3, Justin Jefferson 4, who's been dealing with a hamstring. I think he's back out of practice, but still, that is whoa. CeeDee Lamb 5, Genty 6. Then I went Gibbs at 7, Puka 8, St. Brown 9, Christian McCaffrey 10, Brian Thomas Jr. 11. Wow, Nico Collins 12. I love Nico Collins.
I like
very
Nico as well. I think Brian. That's a little surprising to go 11, but I mean, hell, he had a hell of a season last year. So can't. If it works out, who am I to sit here and question it?
All right,
he's one of the guys I got in my dynasty league, so I'm happy about that.
Dynasty league, man, I need to get one of those. I'm in a high. Well, first of all, my one fantasy league that I'm drafting on Saturday, it's a couple extra bucks, nothing too crazy. I think it's $250. So, but still, that's more than your normal $100, whatever. So that's a decent little chunk that you got to come up with. And then I'm in a pretty big one on Sundays with the DraftKings Fantasy Daily Fantasy, which is my favorite. I love daily fantasy on Sundays. Done it yet. Oh man, the 1 o'clock, 4 o'clocks, that's it. And we got a great group of guys. There's like 12 or 13 of us. Pretty decent pot, but at the end, like we all tallied it up. And at the end of the season, we tally everything up. But it is awesome. You get extra points if you win it, most high scoring, yada yada yada.
Nice.
But yeah, that's my favorite thing to do on Sundays, or as far as fantasy is concerned, daily fantasy on Sundays. All right,
tough.
We got a lot going on, Kyle. Of course, the Phillies blew the door off. We had a pitching change. It is 8-2 right now in the bottom of the 7th. Only 1 out for the Phils. So keep you posted there, but let's keep it moving. I want to continue talking some NFL, and we'll hit on some of the issues that are happening across the league as we're fast approaching 2 weeks from now, opening up the 2025 campaign. Hopefully the Eagles will open up with a victory over the Cowboys. But with that, the Indianapolis Colts are on our minds because they decided to go with Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson for the starting quarterback position. I can't say I'm surprised, but I think there's got to be more to the discussion on how you get there. Anthony Richardson was drafted 4th overall. Some are saying he hasn't gotten the right amount of time or opportunity to prove himself. You knew that this was going to be a guy that you had to put in extra work to allow him to groom him into a starting quarterback at the NFL level. Only played in 13 games at the collegiate level. And I get it. All that is true. But if you are the head coach, shouldn't you or should you not go with the best guy that's going to give you a more of an opportunity to win a game? And that's all Shane Steichen and the Colts are looking at right now. They need to find wins in a division that is very winnable. I'm not sitting here telling you Daniel Jones is going to win you football games, but they are obviously with this decision. Your thoughts on Jones over AR for the Colts?
It's a little surprising as someone from the outside. Daniel Jones, I was very surprised that the Giants even brought him back. I know he had the one good season there, but typically you don't pick up the 5th-year option on a rookie contract. You're saying a lot about what you think of that guy, especially at the quarterback position where you can get a lot of value out of a cheap quarterback and build around a cheap quarterback. We've seen what the Eagles did with Carson Wentz and did it again with Jalen Hurts before extending those guys, how much money you can spend elsewhere. So you'd think that would have been an opportunity for them to go out and build around him, but they didn't have the faith and they dropped that 5th year and then re-signed him anyway. And he looked like he did the first 3 seasons. Richardson, he's extremely young. He doesn't have nearly as many pass attempts as these guys do. I think I saw something like across high school and college, he had less than 1,000 pass attempts. And you have guys like Josh Allen who had over 1,000 pass attempts in college alone. Like he's very green, very young. You see the potential there, but he is so young that the game is so fast compared to the collegiate game. And he didn't even have that much. I think you have to take where he was picked out of it at this point. I know for discussion, it's part of the discussion, but
Sure.
You said, the coaching staff, they're not worried about where he was picked. They're worried about winning football games. The unfortunate reality about the NFL is everybody has like a 2 to 3 year window maximum where they feel like their job's on the line. And if I'm a coach in Indianapolis, I don't care where you pick the guy. If I think the other guy can win me 8 games instead of 5, I'm going to go with him, even if I don't think it's a difference maker for the playoffs, even if I think the guy who, if you give me more time with if you give me more time with the guy who would only get me 5 wins, down the road will be a better team. I don't think I have that much time. And that's what the league has turned into. Outside of a couple organizations that are willing to give coaches a long run and GMs a long run, the Eagles being one of them, there's not a lot of organizations who are going to be patient and allow you to figure this out with what, unfortunately for them, has amounted to essentially a project, a quarterback. You need to be able to protect these guys. If they couldn't do it early on, if he has some issues where he wants to sit out at times, maybe you don't even want to deal with the headache. Hey, man, we got a guy who's won 8 games in the league once before. Let's just go with him and see what happens and protect our jobs for another year.
I do want to put out there that I know some people are taking some quotes and running with them, and I watched the full Q&A session in front of his locker yesterday with Anthony Richardson, and I didn't think he said anything wrong. I thought he was very well spoken, and some of the things that are being put out there, some shops, some outlets that are like cutting up some things and like, yeah, trust has got to be worked on, whatever. Like at the end of the day, man, if at the totality of it, I thought he was on point with everything that came out of his mouth. He said, I knew somebody was going to be disappointed. It was between myself and Daniel Jones. One of us was going to win the job. The other one was going to lose. So one of us was going to be disappointed. Yeah, of course I'm disappointed. It's not me. But he answered every single question the way that I think he should have. I didn't think he veered off. I didn't think he said anything wrong. I came across as a team player, as someone that needs to grow. And in his mind, he thinks he did enough to win it. And I have no issues with him saying that at all either. He said he's been a better player this year in this camp. But as I said, some outlets are taking some clips and running with them, and that's fine. Hell, we just saw that with Dylan Gabriel over the weekend, which was just ridiculous, complete trash. With that being said, his agent is not doing him any favors. Derek Jackson stopped short of demanding a trade, but he wondered aloud if Shane Steichen's quarterback decision might have been predetermined when the Colts signed Jones in March of 1 year, $14 million contract. Quote, we have a lot to discuss. Trust is a big factor that is at best questionable right now. So I just, look, you have to make the best decision. Their seats are hot. I don't believe in Daniel Jones as a starting quarterback, but there's obviously a disconnect with something that Anthony Richardson is doing, and whether it's a leader, and this is complete speculation, I have no idea, whether it's a lead, because we know as far as the athleticism, it's not even in the same ballpark what Anthony Richardson is capable of versus Daniel Jones and throwing the football, right? Running the football, whatever it is, making plays. But I believe it comes down to, and Shane Steichen said a lot, he's not going to give you the exact answer or the reason why, but he did mention checks. He did mention, audibles. He did mention, rolling coverages or pass protection, which you saw in the first preseason game where he didn't even pick up the guy on the outside and he ran scot-free and ended up getting injured in that one. So those are the things that I think we're all connecting as football fans. We'll see how it plays out. I have zero expectations for the Colts this year, but that is a division up for grabs.
Yeah, and if it's up for grabs, you go with the guy who can win right now.
I agree.
Although he was taken 4th, again, I think a lot of people from my recollection felt like that was an overextension, right? Maybe he's not the guy, and if you think you can develop him, great. But if you're not going to take the time to do that, then it wasn't like a situation where they had a veteran there who was going to be there for a few more years, and you could allow this guy to develop behind him. You need reps in football, especially at quarterback. He hasn't had them. You need protection, especially at quarterback. He hasn't had it. You need maturity and leadership on a team that doesn't necessarily have it from what, like you said, I'm not there, but from what it seems like on the outside, there's a lot of lacking leadership out in Indianapolis, whether it's coaching, whether it's players, that I don't know. Not that there's no leaders, but it's not the same culture as, again, I'm going to go back to them, but it's not the same culture as the Eagles where you feel like you could speak to 60% of the roster and they all are going to treat it like a leadership role. They all are willing to pick up the next guy. It doesn't feel like that from the outside there. And hopefully somebody proves me wrong, but it's a guy who there was a lot of question marks about, and not shockingly, those question marks still remain. He's he's younger than guys drafted this year. Like that's crazy. He's younger than Shadur. That's wild. The guy needs reps, needs time he didn't play a ton in college and he was still taken fourth. That's not his fault. And a lot of times we've talked about this in the past where if you aren't given the opportunity and the right organization and the right energy to every single player is different. Tom Brady probably isn't the same guy if he doesn't end up in New England. That's just facts. Donovan McNabb might be better somewhere else. Patrick Mahomes might be worse somewhere. Like those things matter so much when it comes to this sport because the sport is so fickle and you need to be able to develop in a comfortable environment, learning while enhancing your strengths and then learning how to fix the problems as you go. And the kid really hasn't been able to do that so far. So it might seem controversial because you're like, well, is Daniel Jones a winner? No, but can he win you 2-3 extra games? Maybe. And that's why they made the decision.
Yeah, and I think when they put a bow in this conversation, because the Colts, there's zero expectations, plus 370 to win the division, behind the Jags, behind the Texans, Titans at plus 650. So that tells you all you need to know right there about the expectation for this upcoming season for the Colts. But, you know, I do believe that there has to be a conversation of like, hey, if we start Anthony Richardson and we go to Daniel Jones, are we better off? Or are we better off starting Daniel Jones and then going to Anthony Richardson? I do believe you are better off doing that. Again, if Anthony Richardson did not win, I think it's pretty easy to sit here and say that if I was at those practices and I saw what Shane Steichen saw and watched the film, I'm pretty sure he came across as I think to a man here, they probably prefer a guy like Anthony Richardson to turn into the guy that they drafted 4th overall. Because if he does, your life is that much easier. So with that being said, we all agree there, you know, having Daniel Jones as a starting quarterback, going to Anthony Richardson maybe 4 to 5, 6 weeks down the road, whatever it may be. Oh, by the way, injuries do happen as well. This isn't the end for Anthony Richardson. So we'll see what happens. Again, I don't know if somebody's going to force a trade. I don't know if there's going to be interest. Maybe the Colts dangle him. Who knows? But I highly doubt that takes place this year. We'll see what happens. Speaking of divisions, Kyle Fisher, I want to get this going here because you're on the road to Green Bay to open up shop. Dude, let's talk about the NFC North here. And my favorite thing about this division, first of all, plus 160 for the Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers plus 250, Vikings 3-1, Bears plus 500. A lot of hype when it comes to this division. You know, my favorite thing about this division right here, right now, Kyle Fisher, is
what's that?
That they all are playing each other in week 1.
There you go.
Be there on the sideline for the Lions in Green Bay Sunday afternoon at 4:25 CBS. And then on Monday night, our first Monday night kick is the Vikings and the Bears. Oh, by the way, very intriguing numbers. Now, you take it where you want because I don't want to get you in trouble and put you in an uncomfortable spot. But the Green Bay Packers are a 1.5 favorite, which I think is pretty surprising for some out there, 49.5. They're at home. It's a 1.5, but there's a lot more. As I just gave you the odds, Detroit's favored. We know what they've been able to do, build over the years. And there's a lot of good things for Green Bay. But again, when we're putting an odd or a number on these teams, I thought that was intriguing. Again, week 1, not trying to get too carried away. This one definitely caught my attention. The Vikings are a road favorite against Chicago. Vikings a 1.5 favorite, 43.5 is our total there. I'll tell you what, like I said, the division opening up against head-to-head, I love it. Your expectations for that Packers-Lions game, what do you think you're going to see in week 1 there?
I expect high scoring. I think that the Packers are going to want to come out and throw the ball around, show that they that some of the issues from last season from their quarterback are a thing of the past. I think they want to try and jump all over and surprise Detroit a little bit. We saw Detroit despite their strong defense, be in some offensive battles last year. Yeah, I know it was with the Bills, a little different than playing the Packers, but I think you're going to have a decent scoring affair, 30+ points from both teams. Exciting start to the season, exciting division matchup. I'm going to predict that the Lions win, but I think 1.5 towards the Packers is telling that it's going to be close no matter what. A lot of times, what's the old saying? I know it's not necessarily true across the board, but you get 3 just for being at home, right? So it's kind of like saying it's almost a pick 'em at that point, right? If you're 1.5 this way, 1.5 that way, field goal wins it. It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be close. I don't think that that's how every game for those two teams is going to play out. I don't expect both teams to be an offensive powerhouse all season long, but I'm thinking week 1 defenses might be a little slow. I think high scoring in that one, at least. And maybe that's me being biased. Maybe I'm hoping to see it, but
well, you're at 49.5. So that is a little telling there. That's a high number compared to all the other games on the board. There's only one higher at this point in time, I believe. Yeah, only one higher total as far as week 1 compared to the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. And that would be Sunday Night Football, the Bills and the Ravens, 51.5. Dude, what an opening slate we got. We got the Eagles and the Cowboys kicking things off. Then we go to Brazil for the Chargers and the Chiefs.
That should be fun.
And we open up. We got the Giants, what everyone's starting to build up. They're taking on the Commanders, Steelers and Jets. We know the storyline there with Aaron Rodgers, Bucks and Falcons. Who knows what we're going to get in that game? The Jags in a winnable game against the Panthers. And that's all the 1:00 kicks. Dolphins and Colts there. Colts are a 1.5 favorite. Interesting. 46.5 is our total in that one. Yeah. So bringing it back to Detroit, I'm starting to believe in Ben Johnson a little bit more. I was a big time Ben Johnson guy, just the way that offense is run. I thought, him coming back to Detroit last year when he could have very well easily got a head coaching job anywhere in the league, and he decided to run it back with the Detroit Lions. I thought that they were going to make it happen. Of course, they ended up losing in just a slugfest of a game to the Commanders. But I'm a huge Ben Johnson believer. And that's why I'm flipping it over to the Bears. I like the Bears in that Monday night game. At home, catching a 1.5. Am I buying something that I shouldn't be here? You got any lean in that one right now?
No, I don't think you're buying anything that you shouldn't be. That every single list of who's the most improved teams seems to include the Bears. They really took a big step up. One of the biggest reasons is the coach, but they did a lot in the offseason to get better. I don't see why it would be impossible to believe that they could be a real contender in that division. Yeah, it's a tough division, but usually that means guys end up beating up on each other, and a team, even with an average record, can survive. So, I don't know if the division leaders are going to be 15 and 14 win teams like they were last season, but yeah, Bears, they're supposed to be really strong this season. We'll see. Caleb Williams showed a lot of improvement and maturity last season. So, they were a crazy play away from beating the Commanders in that game. So that was, the insane Hail Mary. They looked strong at times. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't be a smart pick. And, I can't disagree with it in week 1 for sure.
Caleb Williams, I took the over on his touchdown passes this season. I want to say it was 23.5. So I'm on his over. I'm on Michael Penix over as well at 19.5 touchdowns. Very low numbers and some high and mighty offense, right? I do believe that Penix is going to sling it down in Atlanta. You saw him do it a little bit in his 3 starts last year, whatever it was. They have some pretty good wide receivers all spread out across that field. Bijan coming out of the backfield, no doubt. But I think Penix is there to throw the football, and I think they're going to be aggressive. So I took a shot on that. And then, like I said, with Caleb Williams backed by Ben Johnson, I'm a believer right now. He's got some good weapons. Adunze, Campbell, of course, I like coming out of college. There's a lot to like about the Bears, but they got to put it together because people were trying to build them up last year. I did not buy into the Chicago Bears last year. I somewhat am this year, but only in the week 1 affair. That's as far as I'll go. Caleb Williams touchdown passes, and I got them winning week 1 against the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe JJ's got something for me when he rolls into Chicago on Monday night. Maybe he's ready to go with Justin Jefferson and that offense, but he's going to be without Jordan Addison. Already Jefferson dealing with the hamstring, so there's some things working against him already with McCarthy, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited, though, to say the least.
Yeah, and one of the big things that I said about Washington every time we've talked about the NFC East is they added so much protection for their quarterback. And the Bears did the same thing. Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson being brought in as veterans to protect Caleb Williams. That's going to add a lot for that kid to be able to show his athleticism, show his growth. Then you add in the fact that they took Loveland in the first round. They already had Kmet, who had a breakout season last season. A lot of tight ends, a lot of linemen, a lot of easy safety nets and protection for a quarterback is always good for a young guy to help him continue to develop. Like you said, with that coaching staff coming in, there's no reason to think that they will be greatly improved over last year.
Bryson Stott, 3 for 4 today. Philly's currently up 8-2. Game is in the bottom of the 8th, 1 out. We'll keep you updated there. I got Kyle Fisher with me for first hour here. Coming up in the second hour, Chris Sack making an appearance from Green Legion Radio. We're going to be doing a show on Sunday. Kyle, if you're making your way to the ballpark, swing on by. But Sunday, baseball brunch back in session. Greg Murphy and Chris Sack and myself will be live from Xfinity Live. And we got a lot of big things coming up here in the fall. But we're going to tighten it up a little bit on Sunday, have some fun down there, talk some baseball. And hopefully the Phils continue to win this week. So a lot to get to. But we'll keep you up to date on all things Phillies right now, currently 8-2.
What time are you guys starting on Sunday?
11 a.m., sir.
All right. I'm down there for press, so maybe I can swing by and say hello.
Man. Beautiful. Can't wait to be down there. Hopefully we get some sunshine. Looking forward to it on one of the final weekends of August. All right. I want to get you here with this one. I like the fact that you didn't back away from making a pick on that play. I like that. Good work. Hey, if you're in the booth, it's one thing.
Yes, I am. Right? You won't hear my voice at all, so I feel a little more comfortable expressing my opinion there. But
I'll tell you what, cousin Nicky loves him some Kyle Fisher. Nice work there. The duo the world needs. Nick, you're the best. Nobody better than cousin Nicky. All right. With that being said, Kyle Fisher, week 1. If somebody came up to you and said, hey, man, I heard you on with Brace, a gambler station. You guys know what you're talking about. I need a survivor pool play week 1. Where are you going?
Ooh.
Always trips people up. Last year, Cincinnati tripped a ton of people up, went up to New England, lost outright. There were a lot of upsets at the beginning of the season last year. This is a tough card. I think there are some easy spots, but you have to ask yourself, is this one of these places where you want to waste a really good team? And I'm not going to sit here and say that the Cowboys and Eagles is an easy game to pick, but It is the Super Bowl champions. They are dropping the banner. There is a lot of hate for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, this could get ugly for Dallas, especially with Micah Parsons, that situation. Who knows what we're talking about? Oh, by the way, if Hendrickson signs tomorrow, McLaurin signs tomorrow, Micah Parsons signs tomorrow. They haven't been practicing. I know Parsons has been there. Yeah, like these guys are going to deal with some sluggishness just a little bit to get a little rust. So even if they sign and everything is good to go, they're still going to have to, get their legs back underneath them. Maybe Parsons a little less than those other guys because he's a freak. But I think McLaurin, the expectation there, if they don't get him signed, that's a terrible job by the Commanders, but we appreciate that. And Hendrickson, apparently there's rumors with the Eagles.
That would be interesting. I heard a young defender and a first-round pick, so I don't know if they're willing to give up all that, but they have so many picks next season. Who knows? Howie, we trust. It's Howie season. Yeah. All of a sudden, you're going to see terrible things about Hendrickson. The asking price is going to go down, and he's going to be like, can I offer you a third-round pick for him, please? Yeah, I don't expect Howie to overspend, but at the end of the day, if Howie thinks the Eagles need it, I believe it. Let's go. I trust it. And that guy is just an absolute beast on the defensive side. So if we can bring him into the nest, look out. But we'll see what happens with that. Anyways, Survivor pool play, Kyle Fisher, week 1, recommendation. We're 2 weeks out, long way to go. But where are you leaning right now? It's funny you said, Cincinnati tripped up a lot of people last year. I was leaning them because I just don't have any faith in the Browns and what their quarterback situation is like. I know that it's a road game. That's a tough one to pick. in week
Kyle
one.
Schwarber does it again.
No way. No way. Man, he's a freak.
It got caught up on the wall. I thought this thing was blasted. I thought this thing was hitting 76. And then what a machine he is. 11-2. They did call it a home run, so it's not a bad call by me right now. But
that's all right.
It did
There's
get
a little wind
tough.
out at the end there, Sean, but I'll take it. The excitement regardless.
Unbelievable. Kyle Schwarber with another home run. Stop throwing to him. Stop pitching to him. You're a dummy if you do.
Yeah, is he going to push for Howard's number? Is he going to push for 58?
That guy's leaning over just a little bit. They might call this back, which is unfortunate because I think it was going. You got to know better if you're that fan. Oh, no, they don't. They let it stand. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but to get back, I think Cleveland, also the Commanders. At home, all this hype around them. I know it's a divisional game, and again, it's another tough pick week one, but I don't have a lot of faith in New York, and I do have a lot of faith in the Commanders. We've talked about that ad nauseum. I think they're probably the third or fourth best team in the NFC. So that's to me that or Cincinnati. If you don't feel comfortable about the road match and you want to go Commanders, I know that they might be a good team for later in the season, but my argument has always been, if you have multiple options, you save one. If you're unsure, you go with what you feel like is the guarantee. No point in reserving a team if you don't make it that far. So.
Well, looking forward to an NFL season that is fast approaching. College football taking place this weekend. The Phillies continue to win. Nothing better than when you join me, Kyle Fisher, and it's an easy show to discuss. That's for sure, man.
Appreciate you, man. Always. I will see you next week. That is for sure.
Yes, and if you do make a trip down to Xfinity Live at 11 o'clock, definitely get you on, and it will be who they got this weekend? Why am I drawing a blank?
Washington again.
That's right. That's right. They're coming back up here. All right, Kyle Fisher 45 on socials. Enjoy Connecticut. Give my best to your bro, and we'll catch up this weekend, sir.
Thanks, sir. See you then.
My man, there he is. Kyle Fisher on the Gambler Stream, coming to us live from Connecticut. Philly's currently up 11-2. You got to love that. All right, Daily Ticket rolling on here. A lot to get to. Speaking of Sunday's baseball brunch with our partners over there at Green Legion Radio. Yes, Chris Sack's going to join me. Love Chris Sack. He is a diehard Philadelphia sports fan, but if you pinned him down, he would tell you that he loves the Phillies more than anything. And when him and Murph did baseball brunch, it was a great show to start your Sunday morning off right here on The Gambler. We're running it back and hopefully more with the fact that this team continues to win. I will be a part of this broadcast on Sunday in some capacity. Looking forward to it. We'll be out there at 1100 Social on the outside. So if you're in the area, stop on by. Chris Sack's going to join me. We'll talk some Phils, maybe get a final score before he hops on here about 4:05. More Daily Ticket. Back up to this.
From Tuscaloosa to the Big House, Saturdays start here.
Howard flips it. Smith got it, and the freshman just launches in as the Buckeyes score.
Your home for all things college football coverage. It's The Gambler. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas.
T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances. And keep listening for the next chance to win your way there.
Capital One is the proud presenting partner of iHeartRadio Music Festival, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Traffic jam, the Walkway, Bennington, New Jersey, down to 42 south of 55 with a crash on the shoulder. 95 northbound, stop and go Girard up the bridge. Southbound heavy Cotman to the Betsy Ross and Bartram to the Commodore Barry. Westbound Schuylkill Jam, Verde to Girard and Boulevard to Belmont. I had to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. This is Ben Green with Lenovo Legion, and I'm inviting you to come check out the Legion Gaming Cube at the iHeart House of Music on September 19th and 20th. It's part of the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Vegas. It's your chance to test
your gaming skills on the best PCs anywhere? Go head-to-head with players at the event, all live streamed from the first ever Lenovo Legion Cube. The Cube is part gaming zone, part creative playground, and it's all powered by Lenovo Legion. So come find us at the House of Music, and if you're not already a member of the Legion gaming community, you can sign up now for free at gaming.lenovo.com.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Make the most of your summer without stressing your budget. Use the Zip app. With Zip, you can make more happen this summer, from front row to baseball game to last-minute grocery runs for that barbecue. Zip lets you comfortably pay over time with the flexible payment schedule. You can use Zip online and in store, almost anywhere Visa is accepted. Just download the Zip app today. Loans through Zip Pay anywhere and Zip Web checkout, including any Power by Zip loans, are originated by WebBank.
This Sunday, iHeart presents the Big Three Championship between the Miami 305 and the Chicago Triplets. This epic fight for the title pits Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson against Montrezl Harrell. In their regular season meeting, Montrezl exploded for 28 points and dominated the Chicago win. Can Beasley and crew win the rematch when it counts the most? The action starts with the Big Three's 8th annual All-Star Game, featuring Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, Jordan Crawford, Jonathan Simmons, and more. The no-holds-barred action starts Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific on CBS.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers, and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Live radio, trusted DJs, breaking news, live play-by-play, endless music, and podcasts just for you. It's the free iHeartRadio app. Radio your way. Join the millions who already have it. Download the free iHeartRadio app, the #1 app for radio.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with cherry berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
You took the elevator to the 48th floor and handed him the briefing. Your fingertips touched, sending a shockwave of desire through the air. The room pulsed with a silent craving as he drew you in with his smoldering gaze before uttering the words your body ached to hear.
The next train on track 2 is delayed.
And all the while, you were on your commute home. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover romance titles on Audible.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
David Goodstadt, founder and CEO of Ballers.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
You want to see basketball played the way it's supposed to be? Tune in to Ice Cube's Big Three this summer. Watch stars like Dwight Howard, Kemba Walker, Joe Johnson, Michael Beasley, and many more, along with Hall of Fame coaches. Experience the fast pace and physical play and fun action that defines the game. You know what it is. It's the Big Three. Catch the best professional 3-on-3 players in the world live every weekend on CBS and Vice. Yay!
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
This is 11-year NBA veteran Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Thrivent.
The college football playoff will now employ advanced metrics, including strength of schedule in their selection process for the upcoming season. Eagles training camp is over after today's final practice. Philly is set to put the wraps on the preseason Friday night when they visit the Jets. And to baseball, where Phil's reliever Jose Alvarado is back in the bullpen after serving an 80-game suspension for violating baseball's performance-enhancing drug policy. I'm Scott Davidson.
At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because the most important thing isn't what you're planning for, it's who. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
We all remember that one teacher who made a difference. Now's your chance to say thank you in a big way. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding teacher in your life to be among the winners of $5,000 to stock their classroom at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
You can't be stopped with Unstoppable's laundry scent boosters because they give your clothes 24-hour nonstop freshness. So even on your longest nonstop days, you'll be confident in smelling fresh all day long. Try now for as low as $5 and smell unstoppable.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Traffic jam, the Walt Whitman into New Jersey, down to 42 south of 55 with a crash on the shoulder. 95 northbound, stop and go Girard up the bridge. Southbound heavy Cotman to the Betsy Ross and Bartram to the Commodore Barry. Westbound Schuylkill Jam, Verde to Girard and Boulevard to Belmont. To tell a total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. No application fee if you apply by September 3rd. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
It takes decades of hard work to buy a home, but the hard work doesn't stop there. At Rocket Mortgage, we believe your home is an active investment, not a passive one. So let's put it to work. When you unlock home equity, you unlock new doors for your family, renovations, extensions, even buying your next property. Get started today with smarter tools and guidance from real mortgage experts. Find out how at rocketmortgage.com. Rocket Mortgage LLC, licensed in 50 states, NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Summer's wrapping up, and life is picking back up. Early mornings, long days, and a to-do list that doesn't quit. And neither should you. Who has time to slow down due to body pain? That's why there's Aleve, to keep you going. With just one pill, Aleve delivers longer-lasting body pain relief per dose compared to other leading OTC branded pain relievers. Aleve helps keep you moving from sunup to sundown with up to 12 hours of pain relief per dose, so you can keep moving and be ready for whatever's next. Use as directed.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
How about that, sports fans? Your Phillies take care of business at home in a big, big way. 11-2 against the Mariners today. And Jesus Luzardo was the story for the majority of the game with 12 strikeouts through 6 innings. I believe he left with a 3-1 lead. He was pulled, and that's all good, understood. Get the ball to your bullpen, especially your closer, has just been lights out. Robertson comes in and gives up a home run. It was made it a 3-2 ball game, but that got the attention of the Fightins because they threw up a 5 spot in the 7th and 3 more in the 8th, and that was all she wrote. Once again, Phillies end up winning today by a score of 11-2. They're off tomorrow, Friday, back at it for a weekend rendezvous against the Washington Nationals. Now, folks, on Sunday, while the Phillies will be at home hosting the Washington Nationals, myself, the great Chris Sack, who is joining me right now, and Greg Murphy will be live hosting another edition of Baseball Brunch presented by the fine folks over at the Green Legion. And Chris Sack is joining me right now on the Gambler Hotline. A perfect time to have you, Sack. How we doing today, man? What a series against the Mariners by the starting pitching. And, of course, the bats got going in a big way as well.
Yeah, this team really has responded since the news of Zach Wheeler on Saturday, and it couldn't have come at a better time these last 4 days to see the bats finally show up, do exactly what we expect them to do. And the starting pitching, outside of Nola in the 3rd inning on Sunday, they've held up their end of the bargain as well. It's been a great few days here for the Phillies. They just got to keep the momentum going. Like we were saying to each other off air before you brought me on, I came into this homestand, the 6 games here between the Mariners and the Nationals. I was thinking 4-2. I'm starting to get a little greedy now. We got to win the series and at least go 5-1. But going to New York next week for 3 and then having the Braves here for 4, it would be pretty big for us to come out of this homestand 5-1, 6-0 for sure.
Yeah, they won 4 straight now. Of course, took that final game in a 2-2 series down in D.C., all 3 against the Mariners, which the Mariners are a good baseball team. However, have been slipping a little bit in these last 2 series. But all in all, of course, Cal Raleigh, Rosarena, like we just watched them for 3 games. That's a good lineup. That's a lineup that if you make mistakes, they'll make you pay. But, man, it did not happen, to say the least, with Jesus Luzardo today. And then, of course, Sanchez, who was lights out last night with the 12 strikeouts. Forgive me, though, Chris. Let's talk about the Zach Wheeler issue and the fact that he could be potentially done for the rest of the season. when that news comes down, are you one of these pessimistic fans out there that says that's the end of the season for the Phillies, no World Series this year? Or did you believe in the horses that they have in the stable, like we saw with Luzardo today, of course, Sanchez yesterday, Ranger, what his potential is, Nola, what we expect from him, and of course, Painter, who is not even being discussed, potentially could be called up. We don't know how that's going to play out. Were you a little bit more optimistic with losing Zach Wheeler, if that's fair to say?
I was optimistic. I did not take the negative approach, which is what I took with Carson Wentz when he tore his ACL back in 2017.
Guilty.
And I didn't think at the time, I will be fair to myself, I didn't think that the Eagles could win the Super Bowl because of facing the Patriots. I felt that they could still get to the Super Bowl. I thought that was still a realistic thing for them to do. I just didn't think Nick Foles would be able to go toe-to-toe with Tom Brady. I was wrong. And thankfully, I was wrong. This right here, the feeling that I had with it, first and foremost, I've been through blood clots. I've lived through it. I had it during COVID. I had them in my legs. I had them in my lungs. So for me, knowing the severity of what Wheeler is going through now, you think about him and his family first. He's got a young family. I think he's got 4 kids now. They're all 5 or 6 and younger. So, for me, like, you get close if you don't go to the hospital and you don't get these things checked out. Like, for me, I was probably days away from a stroke or a pulmonary embolism because that's the only way that that clots tend to go up is you have to get blood thinners or get the procedure that he did. I didn't have that offered to me because they were in my lungs, so I needed to go the blood thinner route. But for Wheeler, the situation is if that gets up into your brain, that's where the stroke or the pulmonary embolism can come about. A lot of people haven't really been versed in that. I have. It definitely wakes you up. I was around the same age as what Wheeler is now when I had that happen to me. But nonetheless, for me, when I sit here and I look at this Phillies team, and the reason why I have the optimism with this team is because now you have that anchor in the back end of the bullpen with Duran to go alongside of Kerkering and Schramm and David Robertson and Tanner Banks. And then for the next 6 weeks, you're going to have Alvarado. You're going to have multiple heat coming out of the back end of the bullpen when they match up Alvarado and Duran in the 8th, 9th inning. That's pretty scary to look at. I wish we would have in the playoffs. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But the real reason why I am fully confident in this team is because we had a bevy of riches knowing that you had Wheeler and Sanchez, and that was a pretty heavy hammer going 1-2 in any playoff series. The fact that you still have that one hammer, the guy that's right now runner-up for the Cy Young as far as odds are concerned, to Paul Skeens, Christopher Sanchez has been phenomenal the last year and a half, 2 years especially. This is a guy right here that I have no worries about him at all. Once you get into the postseason setting, he is a guy that's ready for the moment. He's ready to take the bull by the horns. And I'm excited to see what the future holds over the next 2 months for Christopher Sanchez.
I'm right there with you, man. He's been awesome to watch the way he has improved this year after what he did last year. It's hard to imagine he could even improve. And he has been doing that all season long. And I believe the third or fourth time that he's hit 12 strikeouts for the Phillies this year, which is just super impressive. And again, hitting those numbers if you're wagering on Christopher Sanchez to come over his strikeout prop, which we tend to do a lot here on this program. All right, speaking of programs, we got Baseball Brunch back in the mix this Sunday. Christopher Sack joining me. I'll be live down there with the gang, and of course, Greg Murphy as well. You know him, you love him. Everybody does love Murph. And we'll be live from 1100 Social from 11 to noon. The perfect way to start your day. Get ready for the Phillies and the Nationals on a Sunday. What is it, a 1:35 first pitch, I want to say?
Yeah, normally on a Sunday, that's what it normally is, a 1:35 start. I'm excited to be there with you, Brace, as well as Murph. We haven't done a baseball brunch since opening day of last season.
Correct.
Love Quimby. Quimby's the man, wholeheartedly. I owe everything to Quimby pretty much for the last 17 years. But the fact that I'm not going to have, Quimby there to be our unruly neighbor is what me and Murph call him when he joins the program. But we're going to have a lot of fun on Sunday. I can't wait to be back down there. It's going to be a fantastic environment. As we're probably expecting another 45,000 plus at the sports complex down there at Citizens Bank Park on Sunday. And we've got a great baseball team now that it's only going to get better from here. And everybody just needs to stay on board and stay positive with this team because, if you look at the National League, they are right there. The Brewers are coming back down to earth. They're not going to play at that level, that clip for the rest of the season. And just get to the postseason, just get to October. Anything can happen. And this team is primed and prepped to go up against any team in the National League. The Brewers, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Padres, does not matter. Everybody just stay positive about this Fighting Phils team, and let's get to October and let's have some fun.
Yeah, look, even with the loss of Wheeler, it wasn't a huge hit as far as the odds are concerned, if any. I know that they did take a little bit of a hit, but nothing that I thought registered all that much. I thought we would have seen some more. Can't pull it up because we have some day action right now, what it is currently at this point in time on DraftKings. But bottom line is the odds makers still think this team is, I lied to you. I can pull it up. Plus 320 only behind the Dodgers or plus 215 for the Nationals. It pretty much was that number with Wheeler still as your ace. So no drop off. That tells you all you need to know from the odds makers' imagination and how they feel about this Phillies team, that they could still do it. And oh, by the way it ended last year and how just upsetting it had to be coming off of that season where you were one of the best baseball teams, if not the best baseball team, and you can't even get to an NLCS. You can't get back to a World Series. That's got to chew at them. That's got to eat at them. The moves that they made this trade deadline definitely registered. You're getting some great production from guys like Schwarber and Harper and Trey Turner right now.
Trey Turner.
Oh, he's on fire. Hey, Bryson Stott, come on now.
Yes.
Give it up to Stott.
325 this month.
Yep.
325. Ever since, if you go back to when his wife gave birth to their son back in July, his numbers are insane, and he's doing exactly what I've been. I love Stott. I've been rooting for this kid since he came up. He's just a phenomenal kid, and he's a Gold Glove caliber, second baseman. My only gripe with Stott over the last year and a half, and they blamed a lot of it last year on an injury that he had, but he's been too pull happy. Dude, just take the ball where they're pitching you, slap it in the left field, keep the line moving. And I'll tell you what, when you have a guy like that in the 9-hole, batting in front of a Trey Turner, and you've seen the benefits of it like the last 2 days. Last night he was on base. He was on first, he stole second, and then it moved the runners to second and third with him. And then today he's on third base, and then Turner, because there's an open base at second, he's still second. Like these are the moves that they can make. And when they put the wheels in motion in front of a Schwarber and a Harper, what happens is now those guys are going to be able to eat better because they're going to see more fastballs because you can't throw a breaking ball in the dirt knowing that they're going to take the base. So these are things that a lot of people have to realize that, man, with those two and the 9 and the 1 and doing what they're doing right now by getting on base and putting the ball in motion right now for guys like Schwarber and Harper, that's why they can hit the ball 450 feet because they're getting the fastballs, and that's what they're hunting for. Yeah, you're right about that. And if Stott can produce the way that we have thought in our mind he could, because it was a struggle. Those numbers were alarming, and I was like, man, I maybe don't need to be pulling for Stott the way I have, and he might not be the answer. But I thought the glove was really solid, like you said, Gold Glove caliber. And oh, by the way, the fact that like he can get into the plate and see pitches. I felt like a leadoff spot would be nice for him. Didn't work out. Maybe Topper should have pulled the plug a little earlier. But bottom line is, he still is producing, and he's producing in a big way right now. Speaking of Trey Turner, 5 for 6 today. 13 total bases. He now has 20 hits in his last 7 games. He's on fire. He's literally on fire right now. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care how he gets the hits, how he gets on base, what it is. If it's a double, a triple, an infield single, his first home run at the bank all season since last September on Monday night, which is funny. I think I saw that, because that was his 1,500 hit, and he was like, "Well, I'm just glad it wasn't an infield single." Well, they changed one of his hits. They changed one of the error from Sunday. They changed it to a hit, so his 1,500 hit was an infield single instead of the home run. But it's crazy to think what he's doing. It does not matter. Just get on base, because even a single, an infield single, is a double with a guy like Trey Turner, because he can just steal the bag and just get himself ahead and make sure he takes himself out of double play mode with Schwarber right behind him. And it's otherworldly the way the top of the order is going right now. And the lineup as a whole, 21 hits on Monday. That's the second most ever by a Phillies team in the history of Citizens Bank Park. And the first time that they've had 21 in a game since 2009. And then today they had another 20 hits. And they've never had two games in a 3-game set where they had 20 or more hits in a series ever. It just baffles your mind with what they're doing offensively right now. They just have to make sure that they continue to go down that. You're not going to go down this pace for so long, but ride it for as long as you can, especially this weekend with a terrible Nationals team coming to town, and get yourself primed and ready to go up to New York, because that's been their kryptonite, going to New York, playing up there at Citi Field. They have not played well there in the last year and a half, 2 years. They have to go up there and make sure they handle business. But, don't overlook it. Get to the weekend first with the Nationals, and then go to New York with all the confidence in the world that you can handle your business and win that series there.
Yeah, they got some winnable games, but they also have some tough series coming up here. And again, it's crunch time. A lot of teams out there that are playing for something are going to be facing some good opponents, no matter what. You got 39 games left in the regular season, whatever it may be. Bottom line is you're going to play some good teams out there. They're professional ball clubs, but they got the Brewers. They got 2 with the Mets.
And desperate teams, too.
Yeah, and desperate teams.
You're playing desperate teams.
Mets are the definition of desperate at this point in time. You're right about that.
Yeah, and then you got to go to LA. You got one more West Coast trip coming up in September. The Phillies, I can't remember the last time that they had something going on as far as like going out west in September. Normally they're done with that slate by the end of August, right around this time. But you got to go out to LA and play the Dodgers. You got to go to Arizona, which has been a house of horrors for us over the years. And that trip is in mid-September. So, but you don't want to look too far ahead.
Correct.
Hey, it's great. They swept the Mariners today. They handled their business. They have tomorrow off, so hopefully the Nationals can take 1 or 2 against the Mets to finish up that series. And then you crank it back up with the Nationals come to town this weekend, and line it up. I think you need to see something out of Nola in his next start. It's a home start. It's his second start back in the big leagues. It's a rebound start against the Nationals, who just roughed them up on Sunday. You need to see something improve on Saturday when he takes the hill against them. That's going to tell you everything you need to know about what you can probably expect out of Aaron Nola the rest of the season for the Phils.
Yeah, that's a monster start for Aaron Nola. We would all love to see him look a little bit like last year's Aaron Nola, especially in the middle part of the season. Hopefully that will be the case. No reason why it should not, as all the reasons why Chris Sack just laid out there. All right. Once again, trips.greenlegion.com is where you can find the fine folks over at Green Legion, Quimby and Company, doing big things. They even got a brand new website. How about that, sports fans?
It looks great, right?
Oh, it looks unbelievable. Yeah, there's a huge difference in this offseason, from the website to social media, everything that those guys and gals are cooking up for the brand new and improved all things Green Legion. Check them out online. Once again, trips.greenlegion.com. Quimby is still running the show, though, when it comes to the show down at 1100 Social for the Eagles game. So I do want to put that out there. So it's going to be a lot of fun for home games. I'll be participating in a few of them as well. Plus, we're going to have some new announcements coming up here very, very soon that we're looking forward to getting out there for the public consumption. But bottom line is Sunday baseball brunch returns. Chris Sack, the great Greg Murphy, myself, live from 1100 Social, hopefully a bright and sunny afternoon/morning at Xfinity Live into a Phillies victory. I can't wait, Chris. I'm looking forward to being back down there with you, man. Excited about Sunday, and hopefully the Phillies get a couple victories, lead us into Sunday, sir.
Sounds great, brother. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys down there. So I'll talk to you in Powers over the next couple of days.
My man, there he is. Chris, thank you very much. I'll see you on Sunday, man.
Anytime, brother.
There he is. Awesome stuff from Chris Sack. Once again, joining us on the Gambler Hotline. Trips.greenlegion.com. Oh, by the way, yes, nobody does it like the folks from Green Legion. And as I said, for the NFL season that is here already, Eagles just wrapped up camp. How about that? One more preseason game against the Jets that nobody will watch, nobody will care. Everybody gets healthy. We're good to go. We roll into the season opener against the Cowboys down at Lincoln Financial Field on the Thursday of the first week of September. And yes, we will be rocking out with the fine folks from Green Legion at 1100 Social. Brand new show coming your way this season. Trey Thomas, Quimby, Chris Sack, Michael Diaz, and a ton of other special guests throughout the course of the season. Once again, trips.greenlegion.com. Check out what they have to offer. If you're trying to get to a road game, nobody does it better than the folks from Green Legion. Great stuff there on Sunday. Come on out and say what's up as well. All right, from the Phillies back over to the world of the NFL. We're hitting on some of the odds and ends that are happening right now across the landscape when it comes to the National Football League. Some decisions that I'm scratching my head at. Also, some lack of decisions as well. What's taking place down in New Orleans? Name a quarterback already. What are you waiting for? Anyways, we got some other things that we need to get into from the world of fantasy. I want to mix that in. Of course, update you what's taking place in the world of baseball. We got some live action happening right now. A lot to do. Oh, by the way, brand new Swing It and Ding It coming your way. I believe Mooseless this one because he is upstate New York. So you're going to get Harry Mays and Danielle. That's coming your way at 6 p.m. Brand new Swing It and Ding It, all things PGA Tour. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be talking a little bit about Scotty Scheffler and the run that he is on. Unbelievable. 13 straight top 10s. It is just sensational golf being played by Scotty Scheffler this year. And it's no surprise because we knew how good he was. But, man, just to be able to go out there and do it when the audience is watching, when everyone's expecting, it's just another level to it. And what he did on Sunday, trailing a few strokes, and nobody thought he was going to lose. And he just played out and made an unbelievable birdie shot from the rough around the green. And he just is one of the best to ever play the game of golf. So I'm sure that they will be discussing a little Scotty and the best of Philly golf, as they often do on Swing It and Ding It. Daily Ticket rolls on, though. More after this.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas.
T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances. And keep listening for the next chance to win your way there.
Gear up, music fans. Hyundai is back as a proud partner of the 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Join us as our electrifying all-star lineup hits the stage like never before.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Getting busy with volume from the Phillies game. The westbound Schuylkill crawling, approaching Verde to Girard for the West Jam Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound heavy Blue Route to Belmont, then Jan Montgomery Drive to the Vine Expressway. Vine Expressway tied up both ways. Schuylkill to 95. 95 northbound heavy from the airport to Penn's Landing and Jam Vine Expressway to Bridge. Southbound Jan Cotman to the Betsy Ross. Heavy Wall Whitman to the Girard Point Bridge. And Jan approaching 420 to the Commodore Barry. Liar to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples.
People always say, Ryan, why don't you take it easy? Relax a little bit. Well, that's what the Staples Easy button is for. Just press it for quality products, friendly experts, and services like print, travel, or shipping, because we can't do it all. All right, guys? Thanks, Staples. That was easy.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
David Goodstadt, founder and CEO of Ballers.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
This Sunday, iHeart presents the Big Three Championship between the Miami 305 and the Chicago Triplets. This epic fight for the title pits Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson against Montrezl Harrell. In their regular season meeting, Montrezl exploded for 28 points and dominated the Chicago win. Can Beasley and crew win the rematch when it counts the most? The action starts with the Big Three's 8th annual All-Star Game, featuring Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, Jordan Crawford, Jonathan Simmons, and more. The no-holds-barred action starts Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific on CBS.
You see what I see, love?
Her grandson splashing his mom with a cannonball?
You. Having heart failure is hard enough, but now you're having trouble opening the sunscreen. Carpal tunnel acting up again?
Yep, and there are my stomach issues. And how tired I am. I could use a nap.
Let's take a dip, and then we're calling your cardiologist to see what's going on, okay?
If you have heart failure and something's off, it may be ATTR-CM or transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis. It's a serious heart condition that gets worse over time. Vindamax, tafamidis, is a prescription pill taken once a day to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization for heart problems. Tell your doctor about all your medications, medical conditions, and if you have liver problems or breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. There are no known side effects with Vindamax. For prescribing information, call 1-877-278-9632. Learn more at Vindamax.com.
Seeing what I see? Ask your doctor about ATTR-CM.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at tmobile.com.
Imagine if today was the day your idea changed someone's life. With GoFundMe, it's all possible. Help someone pay for college, help your community build a new playground, or help a child make it to that dream competition. GoFundMe is the world's #1 fundraising platform trusted by over 200 million people. Don't wait for someone else to bring change. Start your fundraiser today at gofundme.com/radio. That's gofundme.com/RADIO. This is a commercial message sponsored by GoFundMe.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com. Once again, Phillies with another victory, another one. Yes, they swept the Seattle Mariners, and it got ugly there in the 7th inning. And the Phillies never looked back. They come away a winner, 11-2. Jesus Luzardo, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. Yeah, if you're keeping score at home, that's back-to-back starts by the Phillies with Christopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo with 12-plus strikeouts. Both ended up with 12 there. Pretty phenomenal stuff, and definitely at a time with the news with Zach Wheeler. It's just like, all right, you knew Christopher Sanchez had that in him last night. Of course, nothing surprising there, but Jesus Luzardo has not looked like this at all season long. 12 strikeouts, pretty darn impressive. Oh, by the way, I think we need to look at anything from the Mariners' perspective. If they're going up against a lefty from here on out, just take the lefty. Like, let's see what happens. Let the chips fall where they may. I think you might come out on top a little bit. That is a team that struggles against left-handed pitching. That is for sure at this point in time of the season. All right, we got a couple odds and ends I want to hit here before we get out of here today. But it seems like it's happening a lot, and it's not. I'm not like, naive to this stuff, because all in all, things do change, and in the world of professional sports, there's so much money to be made. You have to evolve. But I do wonder if we're getting carried away, right? I think the answer is yes, right? I think for no matter what sport or league we're talking about, I think we can all make the case that, I think money is the ultimate reason why. And then I think we could all sit there and say that that's probably not the best reason to make drastic changes over the long haul. Again, we don't know. Constantly changing, constantly evolving. I get it. But isn't there something to be said about some tradition, some history, some record books that will never be the same? I'm bringing it up because over the last week or so, we've seen a lot of drastic changes being discussed in a number of sports, whether it's at the collegiate level or the professional level. And the latest one was today, where PGA Tour, Tiger Woods tweets out. Now, Tiger hasn't been around. He's been dealing with some injuries. He's coming down to the home stretch of his career, all in all. But getting Tiger involved at the PGA Tour is a no-brainer. And he has been serving as chairman of the Future Competition Committee. And he goes on to say, tweeted today, this is about shaping the next era of the PGA Tour for our fans, players, and partners. Now, I don't know what that means, and I'm sure that there will be plenty of guesses that will be taking place, as it often is in the world of golf, and everybody's an expert when it comes to that world. I listen to Swing It and Dig It. That's where I get my stuff from. But I would imagine that there will be a lot of changes and some higher money being made and, less is more, whatever it may be, right? Some of the things that have been discussed over the last 2-3 years because of Liv. Maybe Liv can rejoin the players there, whatever. I don't know. We'll see what happens. What Tiger Woods' vision is. He's the Future Competition Committee. And this just hit me. This isn't something I've been working on, so I'm just talking out loud here. And I'm curious to know if you have a take on this. At Fox PHL Gambler, hit me up on socials at Fox PHL Gambler or Sean_Brace. But let's just take college for a second. They're going to add teams to what is now the 12 team, right? 12 teams make it. I assume it's going to be like FCS, where it's 24, I want to say, 10 lock, 14 at large. I think that's where we're going to get to. Major League Baseball commissioner was on an interview the other day, right? Was it television? I think he was doing something in the booth. Was it Little League World Series? I forget. But Manfred said that they want to do something along the lines of when they expand, then they're going to change up the divisions due to geography, which puts the Mets, the Yankees, the Sox, the Phillies, and if I'm forgetting a team up north, am I? I don't think I am. Toronto? I don't know. That's going to change some things drastically. NBA continues to evolve. You just look at it. Like, is the NFL doing anything that's drastically changing the game? Well, yeah, they want to add an extra game. They went up to 17. They want to do 18. I don't know. It feels like a lot of this is being forced, and I think it's falling under the umbrella of, well, are you going to care? It's more football. You're going to watch. True. Are you going to care? It's going to make things a whole lot different. All of a sudden, it's going to bring a little bit more juice to the regular season rather than taking on the Washington Nationals and the Miami Marlins, as you have been for the last few seasons. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm watching now, though. That's the issue. You're not talking to me with these changes. I haven't shut off my television on ESPN. I'm not one of those guys that says I'm not watching that stuff. No, I tune in to every sport every single day. And if I can't watch it, I'm reading about it. So this isn't about me. This is about somebody that maybe they're trying to reach that hasn't given them an opportunity. And, oh, by the way, the almighty dollar. College football, college sports, period, end of story, continues to change, and who knows what the finish line looks like. PGA Tour, Tiger Woods, has he got the vision? Is he the right man for the job? It's a pretty darn good one to get involved, sure, but I don't know if he's got all of the answers. And in Major League Baseball, with the change as far as geography is concerned with divisions, yeah, it's entertaining. It adds a new wrinkle, but that changes a lot when it comes to the history of the game. That is a drastic, maybe more so than anything that's been put out there in all those sports I've discussed. Raising the college football playoff from 12 to 24 isn't, I get it. It's a lot of football, a lot of extra games that are being played. The season that they just played last year was the longest college football season in the history of college football. We know why, from week 0 all the way to you crown a champion. And all that's going to do is add extra games in the playoffs. No regular season. I don't know. Very intriguing time right now in the world of sports across the board. I will say this much. There's no better bang for your buck. Excuse me as I sneeze. When it comes to sports. You look at what the UFC just did. And I was yelling about it last week. No reason to bring it back up other than the fact that that's sold for $1 billion a year. 1.1 if I'm not mistaken. 7.7 total. I believe when ESPN had that contract, it was something along the lines of like $250 million per. And then they got it up to 1.1. What? The business of sports is at an all-time high. No doubt about it. But I don't think you have to change everything to the point that record books are no longer going to be measured the same way if these changes continue to happen in all sports. I don't know. When it comes back to the dollar, I get it. But when is enough enough? Or will it ever be enough? Very intriguing time right now in the world of sports. But definitely interested to see what Tiger Woods has to say about the PGA Tour. There's no doubt about that. Tiger is the man for the job. They handed the baton to him. It's been very interesting to watch over these last 2 to 3 seasons with Liv. So I'm curious to see what he's going to make change as far as the PGA Tour is concerned. Again, you can do whatever you want. Scotty Scheffler is still going to come out on top. Anyways, oh, by the way, let's check that out real quick because I have yet to even look at the PGA Tour stop this weekend. Of course, the big one coming up over September, the Ryder Cup. This one taking place in Atlanta. So we're calling this one the Tour Championship. Scotty Scheffler, plus 150. That is hysterical. Scotty Scheffler is plus 150 to win a golf tournament. And I can't tell you not to take it. That's wild. Rory is plus 850. Tommy Fleetwood 14-1. Oberg 18-1. Russell Henley 20-1. Justin Thomas 25-1. JJ Spawn, do you have anything to say? 25-1. Scotty plus 150. He's been cashing top 10s the last 13 times he has teed off at a tournament. You can get a top 10 at minus 1,200. Unbelievable. It's where we're at right now when it comes to gambling on the game of golf. Also, in that same light, last night we saw the 3 biggest home run favorites all went yard on DraftKings Sportsbook. And I believe to go yard, Shohei Ohtani at the Colorado Rockies, which he did, and I think it was his first at-bat, a line drive home run over the right field wall in Colorado. I think he was plus 160 to go yard. It was the lowest number that's ever been given out via DraftKings on a home run prop since they started taking wagers back when the legalization of sports gambling happened. How crazy is that? And it all hit. Ohtani went yard. Of course, Schwarber went yard. And Aaron Judge went yard yesterday. The Yankees hit a bunch of home runs down there at their spring training facility in Tampa. Pretty fun game to tune into as I was watching a little bit of that game. But all in all, what a week it was for the Phillies. 3 days here, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. 48 hits, 9 home runs, 29 runs. They smashed the Seattle Mariners in 3 games, including today's 11-2 whooping on the Mariners. So we end this series on a good note. They roll on, taking on the Nationals on Friday. So they have a day off tomorrow. And we'll see what happens as far as that is concerned this weekend. Once again, if you missed it, we'll be live. Baseball brunch coming your way on a Sunday, live from 11 under social. Myself, Chris Sack, and Greg Murphy. All right, quickly, I want to hit on this, if you would not mind. Yesterday, oh, man, what a great day it was. Ocean City, New Jersey, with the fine folks from Villanova football, Steve Pannone, of course, everybody over at Playfly. Thank you very much for rolling out the red carpet for us. It was a windy day, and I have now ordered sandbags for our tent. Thank you to the folks over at Ocean City, New Jersey for hooking us up, though. I should have known better. I should have known, like, yeah, you're going to the beach. It could be windy. I was just there, and it wasn't exactly that windy, but yesterday was a extremely windy day with what is coming up the coast. But bottom line, we had a great day covering all things Villanova football, and what a cool time it was with the folks from Villanova and Playfly. Can't thank everybody enough. Again, we're going to be doing more with them, especially coming up against Penn State. And we're looking forward to announcing that very, very soon. But we are the home of Villanova football and basketball right here on Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia. And oh, by the way, if you are a Villanova alum, make sure you check out the Villanova Sports Radio Network. It's available on the iHeartRadio app, as well as we are replaying all the great games from last year, getting you ready for this upcoming season that opens up on September 6th against Colgate. Head coach Mark Ferrante, what a stud. We love to build up these local college coaches, man. Whether it's Phil Martelli or, of course, Jay Wright. Mark Ferrante is the man. All right, if we're building somebody up, representing a college team in this area, head coach Mark Ferrante is a damn good dude and runs a great program as well. As all they do is go out there and win double digits. Hopefully more of the same, but he's always a great interview and very generous with his time. Even comes and sees us before the game kicks off, which is funny. We were talking a little bit about that. But we had some fun yesterday. You'll catch that interview from time to time. We'll run that back, but get you ready for all things Villanova against Colgate coming up here on September the 6th. A long way to go, but just right around the corner. Speaking of, we do have some college football action. Tomorrow, you're going to get a lot of college football conversation right here on The Gambler and on Friday as well, getting you ready for all things week 0. Yeah, it's a football week, baby. We got live action on Saturday, including Farmageddon with Kansas State and Iowa State live from Ireland. 50.5 is your total in that one. No movement as far as the number is concerned. Kansas State still 3-point favorites. Love K-State to get a win in that one, but the Cyclones, tough team. Got them last year, so we'll see how that one plays out. Fast approaching, though, as I said. The other games that will be going off on Saturday, we got Idaho State and UNLV. Interesting spot there for Dan Mullen, who's getting his start in UNLV, now up to 26.5. That number continues to climb. I don't know much about Idaho State. I do know that UNLV wants to run this one up. So if I'm wagering, I would probably lay the number with the running Rebs there. Fresno State and Kansas. Kansas got a brand new stadium. That's the big talking point. That's all I got at this point in time. 12.5. Not going to give you a play here. They are favored. Then we go to Conference USA. We got Western Kentucky, Sam Houston, 10-point spread there. Western Kentucky favored. And then we close up shop. Not exactly where I would put this game. I would have bumped it back to about 9:30 and let's get really silly on a Saturday night. But Hawaii and Stanford, 2.5-point spread. Hawaii favored 50.5 is your number in that one. I like Hawaii in a big way. Again, you got to go to the islands. Frank Reich's the head coach over there in Stanford. He's good coach. I'm sure you can motivate him, but I think Hawaii is ready for the battle here. And, oh, by the way, they were catching 2.5. Now they're 2.5-point favorites. So a little bit of a shift in the odds. All things college football the next 2 days right here on the Daily Ticket and the Gambler. Tomorrow, I'm going to have Julian Edlow at 3:30. We get the party started there. 5 o'clock hour, you're going to hear myself and Beef break it down on Beef up front. All 5 games covered from top to bottom. We're going to give you a play and all have a lot of fun. Can't wait to break these games down and then keep it rocking right into Labor Day weekend with that Thursday to Monday run. That is just an incredible run in college football. 5:30 kickoff between Boise State and South Florida. Yeah, we'll have some action on that one. Rutgers and Ohio, 14.5-point spread, 6 p.m. East Carolina and NC State. How about that banger? Right at the chute. Thursday night football, Thursday night lights down at Carter Finley in Raleigh, North Carolina. I think that game's being played. It might be in Charlotte. NC State, ECU. Is it played in Charlotte? I wish they would just show you where the hell it's being played. I think it is in Carter. I think it's at Raleigh. They don't make it easy trying to find this damn information as they should. Yep, Raleigh. All right, there it is. Game information. Sorry about that. 7:00. ACC Network. We'll have a play on that one. We might take the points with the Pirates. All right, coming up. If you missed it, Kyle Fisher joined me the first hour. We talked a lot of NFL. We rated my fantasy team that we drafted in the Gambler League. I know everybody loves to do that. But it was a good conversation. Talked a lot about the topics that are happening right now in the world of the NFL as that season is right around the corner. The Indianapolis Colts decided to go with Daniel Jones, which we know everything there is to know about Daniel Jones at the quarterback position instead of Anthony Richardson. It wasn't a mistake. Kyle Fisher gives us his take on the other side. Plus, we talk some division battles in the NFC North, which Kyle will be on the sideline for CBS Sports coming up for Green Bay and the Detroit Lions. We focused on that division because all four of those teams face off against each other, including Monday night, Bears and the Vikings. Come on, man. Am I getting the juices going? Football season is here. What are you waiting for? Get involved. Get invested. Stick with us right here in The Gambler. All right, coming up on the other side, to hear Kyle Fisher and myself break it all down. 6:00, swinging and dinging. I'll be back tomorrow. Brand new episode of Daily Ticket. Don't touch the dial. More of this.
Dan Patrick, 9 to noon.
Brett Brown joins us.
Colin Cowherd from noon to 3.
The Sixers are amazing.
And the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace from 3 to 6 p.m. Only one place you can find that.
All ears to it.
Right here on Fox Sports Radio.